been easy to get to Waterloo over the last few weeks.
It's been rubbish. I've had to have aeroplanes, helicopters to get here. It's been terrible. Contemplating horseback. It's been bad.
The major upgrade at the station may have finished, but there's still been a lot of disruption since then. South Western Railway services have repeatedly been delayed because of point failures and congestion problems. And there's more engineering work planned for this weekend, with some lines and platforms once again being closed at Waterloo. It's been a frustrating time for passengers, with many taking to social media to contact South Western. This is just one of the conversations that took place on Twitter yesterday between the company and a commuter.
Why do you always cancel the Hampton Court service? We only get 2 trains an hour and they are packed during rush hour. We have no other route.
Sorry for the disruption this morning. We had to cancel the 0723 to help reduce congestion as part of a wider plan.
Also, tell me why your own website doesn't tell me this train is cancelled.
We arranged ticket acceptance on all TfL services to help passengers with their journey. I do appreciate your frustration.
But we can't get to a TfL service.
This includes buses as well as underground.
So tell me how I'm supposed to get into London on time. What alternative do I have?
Well, Linda McCord is from the group Passenger Focus.
There are, of course, business as usual incidents that happen on the railway. The work at Waterloo was never going to be the answer to all of that. So, of course, it's really important that Network Rail, working with the new operator South Western Railways, work to ensure that the day-to-day infrastructure, the bit that enables the trains to be able to run, the signalling, all of that is fit for purpose.
Earlier, we spoke to David Langton from Network Rail.
Firstly, we obviously recognise any delays to passengers' journeys is incredibly frustrating, and we apologise to anyone who's had a disrupted journey this last couple of weeks. Important to remember, we've just delivered one of the biggest, most complex engineering projects at Waterloo in the station's history, and unfortunately, following any work of this scale, some snagging issues are to be expected. But that's why we've got teams of experienced engineers on standby round the clock, ready to quickly deal with any problems and help us return service to as normal as possible, as quickly as possible. What we see here is disruptions to journeys through a whole range of issues this last couple of weeks, and that includes some of the issues that come up in the day-to-day running of one of the country's busiest railway routes.
You mentioned the snagging problems. How long will they last?
We hope to have snagging issues resolved at Waterloo as soon as possible.
As soon as possible. Alison Bunce commutes from Surrey to London Waterloo. Morning to you. How's it been?
Oh, I feel that lady's pain on Twitter. It's been absolutely awful.
Give us some examples of your journey.
Well, on Monday, there was a broken down train at Feltham, which meant that my 2-hour commute lasted for 4.5 hours of going from bus to bus. Oh, goodness, it was awful. But fortunately, that was the day that what are they called? South Western Railway, I still can't say it properly, introduced delay repay. So I actually claimed for that within about the first 20 minutes of it being introduced, I think.
And so, you got the journey completely back?
Well, I don't know yet, because according to the email I received, it takes something like 10 days to actually process the claim. So I'll watch with interest. But they seem to say that any delays over 30 minutes on a journey should be refunded. So we'll see what happens, since my train completely disappeared.
So we've got a new train operator. It's been pretty hellish for them.
Yeah, I do feel for them. I have a theory, actually. I do wonder if the South West Trains people actually sabotaged all the signalling equipment before they left the franchise, because it does seem to have got even worse, if that were possible, since South Western Railway took over.
What do you make of Network Rail? What they have to say? We're trying to get it sorted as soon as possible.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that they said that they have delivered the Waterloo upgrade as well, because in my mind, delivery, which should indicate it should be complete, and that doesn't seem to be the case. But I did actually tweet Network Rail the other day just asking what their long-term plans were for the signalling, and they do seem to have this grand plan of new signals and new shiny operating centres and things, but they didn't seem to be able to give me a timescale on when this would be delivered.
Now, we've covered this story and I've paid a certain amount of attention to it, and I was sort of led to believe we were going to have a really awful August for about 3 weeks and then everything would get back to normal. Network Rail this morning saying that this is part of a plan that will continue at Waterloo with further developments for, well, it seems like another 15 months or so.
Yeah, I was under the same impression that it was just for August. I mean, obviously, I do accept that there's going to be ongoing maintenance work, but this didn't seem to be advertised at the time.
Yeah, so, look, your journey today, you're heading there, are you?
Well, actually, I'm not. I have a very well-deserved day off. And ironically, I've been looking on Twitter at the trains, and they're actually running on time. So that's typical. I think they've got it in for me.
Infamy. They've all got it in for me, to paraphrase Kenneth Williams. Lovely talking to you. We'll speak again. Good luck, Alison, with the commute next week.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye. It's 8:15.
Your headlines this morning. Network Rail has apologised